Today we're going to talk about line of best fit. So in the last couple weeks or days, really, we've talked about scatter plots and how scatter plots show correlations on a graph, and your points show positive correlation if they both go up, and negative correlation or no correlation. Well, a line of best fit is trying to find that equation of the line for your scatter plot. We can do this by hand and we can do this by the calculator. So I'm going to walk you through an example of how we will do each of these. So our first example says, given a graph of a scatter plot, we are told to use the points 4, 0, and 6, 9 to find the trend line. Now, a trend line is just another word for line of best fit. You can hear it either way. They may be used interchangeably. So the first thing we need to do is think about what is our equation of a line. Equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. I want you to remember m is your slope, b is your y-intercept. So the first thing we need to do when we're trying to find this is we need to find our slope. So step 1, find the slope. And I know we've talked about several different ways we can find slope, and I don't care which one you use. So I will do using the formula, and I'll do the L method, just so you can see examples. So we have 4, 0, and we have 6, 9. If we're going to use the formula, my formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Well, when I plug in, I have m equals 9 minus 0 over 6 minus 4. 9 minus 0 is 9. 6 minus 4 is 2. And my slope is 9 over 2. Now, if I do the L method, remember I'm going to take my 2 points and I'm going to stack them up. And I'll write this in a different color so you can see it. We're going to draw our L. And we subtract 9 minus 0 and 6 minus 4. 9 minus 0 is 9. 6 minus 4 is 2. So either way that we found the slope, we found a slope of 9 over 2. Now that you have your slope, step 2, plug in the slope and find B. Remember, when we do this, we always have to start with our equation of a line. So we start with y equals mx plus b. We're going to plug in what we know. Well, I know that my m is 9 over 2. I don't know x plus b yet. Remember, when we're solving things like this, we need to use one of the two coordinates we use to find slope. I'm always going to pick one that has a 0, so I'm going to pick 4, 0. So I'm going to say 0 equals 9 halves times 4 plus b. 9 halves times 4 is 18. So now to solve for b, what is the opposite of positive 18? Negative 18. So you'll subtract 18 on both sides, and negative 18 equals b. So after you have found your slope and you have found your b, step 3 is to put it all together. When I put it all together, I'm going to have y equals, my slope was 9 over 2, x, and my b was negative 18. Now, I know that fraction is going to mess with some of you, so you could also write it as y equals 9 over 2 is 4.5, x minus 18. So that is the first way when you're finding line of best fit by hand. Typically, when you're asked to find it by hand, you're going to be told which two coordinates to use, because otherwise it would be up to a lot of interpretation and everybody's answer would be a little off. So example 2, we're going to have a table. So given the data, find the line of best fit. This time, instead of doing it by hand, we're going to use the calculator. So step 1 is going to be to clear the calculator, just to make sure that everything that's been in there before is not going to mess us up. So to clear the calculator we use at school, we're going to hit second, the plus sign, 7, 1, 2. So second plus 7, 1, 2. And it will tell me that all of the RAM has been cleared. So then I can just clear that screen. So step 2, we're going to walk through several different buttons that we have to hit. I'm going to walk you through them before I tell you what we're doing. So we're going to go to Stat. We're going to hit number 1, which is Edit. And then we're going to type in the data. And on that edit screen, L1 is an X value and L2 is a Y value. So I'm going to go through this. Stat. I want to hit number 1 for edit. So I just hit the number 1. For L1, I'm going to type my X value. So I say 67, enter. 70, enter. 73.5, 0.5. 75, 78, and 66. Once I finish my X, I have to go to the top and hit the over arrow. And I'm going to do 8.5, 9.5, 11, 12, 13, and 18. From this point, we're going to have step number 3. Step number 3, we're just going to continue walking through here. So we're going to go to Stat. We're going to go over and hit the word Calc. We're going to hit number 4, which says Lin Reg for a linear regression. And it's going to say AX plus B. And we're going to hit enter. So we need to remember that A is slope on the calculator. So when I go through this and I go to Stat and I go over to Calc, I want to hit number 4 because it says Lin Reg. When I get this screen pulled up, I'm just going to hit enter, enter, enter. When I get down to calculate, I'm going to hit enter one more time. And this is what's going to come up on my screen. So then we're going to have to round. So negative 0.0809, you could round to negative 0.1. And the B value, you would round to 17.8. So when you do this, to write it, give me 1 second. You would have y equals negative 0.1 x plus 17.8.